Hey everyone, welcome to the Hair Transplant channel. My name is Joe Tillman and you're watching the official YouTube channel for hairtransplantmentor.com. Right, in today's video, we're revisiting the work of Dr. Aron Nusbaum of Miami Hair Institute in, wait for it, Miami, Florida. Yes, you guessed correctly. Dr. Aron Nusbaum, what can I say? Fantastic hair restoration specialist working out of Miami. And we've been working together for a few years now. And I gotta say, I love working with doctors like Dr. Aron because he's interested in learning how to do things better and to change things where things are more efficient for his clinic, but there's a much bigger return for his efforts to create that efficiency. He's a very forward-thinking individual. I like the way that he thinks. What's nice about working with Dr. Aron Nusbaum is the fact that I've not had to worry about anything. I keep monitoring the work that he's putting out. I'm watching his Instagram. I'm looking at the website, and some changes have happened, such as he's added a new doctor that he's working with, and they moved to a new location. I forgot to mention that. Brand new clinic there in Miami, beautiful facility. I do highly recommend you check it out. If you're in the area, just say, hey, I heard about your new place. I want to check it out. Joe sent me. Maybe they'll give you a tour. I don't know. But back to the point of today's video, we're looking at more work from Dr. Aron. Now, here's the thing. I'm not going to do it the way I normally do it, where I'm in detail on like 5 or 6 cases. I got a bunch of cases, and so we're just going to fire right through them, and I'm going to show you what I like about them. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. First case, 1,942 FUE grafts in one session. Patient has been on finasteride before surgery. 1 year post-op. Very easy to identify area. I love how he does the drawing, the outline of the area of loss, but then we look at the 1 year result and it's thick, it's dense, but more importantly, it's natural. And then when we look at the donor area comb through, there's 0 signs of surgery. It's still nice and thick. I can't imagine how thick it was before surgery, but 2,000 grafts, more or less, it's a really good result. So great start to the review. Next patient we have up is a 39-year-old male. He's been on minoxidil and finasteride before surgery. This procedure, FUE, 1,815 grafts. This is only 5 months after surgery, which blows my mind because that's a lot of growth, which tells me he probably didn't shed the grafts after they were placed from surgery. But look at the naturalness. Each individual hair, you can see them. Let's zoom in on this just a bit, and you can see those individual hairs. That's another thing I like about Dr. Aron, is he's taking high-resolution photographs, which allows me to zoom in to see the details. That's good stuff. So naturalness, that's what I like to see. Again, only 5 months. I can't imagine how much better it can be. Can't really get any more natural than this. Probably be increased density over the next maybe 5 or 7 months, but we'll see. Next case. Next up, we got a 50-year-old male, 1,885 grafts, no medications, because 50 years old, that's the area where you can talk about not taking it if you don't want to take it. It's more, I guess it's safer at that point. That's what a lot of doctors believe anyway. 6 months post-op, crown work, that's fantastic. And note that it's not, different directions going everywhere. It's a nice continuity to the whorl pattern and the way that the hair flows. Really nice work. Let's go to the next case. Very good. Next case, it's real quick. I mean, it's a very, well-defined area of loss. Patient is 32-year-old male. He's been on finasteride before the surgery. 1,889 grafts via FUE. 6 months post-op, natural, single hair grafts, 0 plugginess, 100% fantastic. I guess that works. Good job. Next up is a 41-year-old male, 1,981 grafts via FUE in one surgery. He was on finasteride before surgery, 12 months post-op. I'm surprised it was only 1,981 grafts because that's a fairly large area. but it's a fantastic result. It really fills in that space quite well, which tells me that's a really high yield, very high growth rate, probably close to 100%, if not at 100%, to be able to fill this area with only 1,981 grafts. We'll call it 2,000 grafts. And then the donor area after it's grown out looks fantastic. Great job. Next up, 2,089 grafts. He's 52 years old at the time of the surgery. He was on minoxidil and finasteride before the surgery, only 6 months post-op. What I really like about this, not only is it natural looking, but here's something that very few doctors know how to do. You notice the gap here in this before image, but you can also see that the hair kind of goes off in strange directions. It's because it's a cowlick. This is a cowlick in his hairline naturally. It's recreated surgically now. Very few physicians, hair transplant specialists, have the confidence, much less the talent, the eyes and the hands to be able to recreate a cowlick like Dr. Aron Nusbaum just did in this case. So very well done. Next case, 41-year-old male, 2,406 grafts. That's exactly how many I had in my first repair surgery. He was on finasteride before the surgery. He's 8 months post-op, and you can see those 2,400 grafts went a long way for the hairline, but then also into the crown. Donor area looks fantastic. Another fantastic and natural result. Let's move on to the strip cases. Okay, strip case number 1, 45-year-old male, not taking medication. Okay, so 1,969 grafts via FUT strip surgery, 12 months post-op. You got the before, very well defined, and now you got the after. Very natural, individual hairs, single hair grafts, no plugginess, all naturalness. Next case. 2,130 grafts via FUT strip surgery, 48 years old. He was on finasteride before surgery. 8 months post-op, we've got the crown that's been filled in. You can see that whorl pattern. Everything's flowing beautifully, and the donor scar is basically invisible once it's exposed in this surgery. Well done. Next case. 68-year-old male presenting with about a Norwood 3 to 4A. 2,281 grafts via FUT strip surgery, no medication. Oh, sorry, wrong one. Finasteride use before surgery, 6 months post-op. What I like about this is he built in some additional recession that he might not have put in on a younger patient. So it's very age appropriate, really changes the dynamics of the patient's scalp and most likely the framing of his face, guaranteed. Fantastic. Let's move to the next one. 71-year-old male, no medication, 12 months post-op, 2,426 grafts via strip FUT. Beautiful result in the front. I mean, it's just, it's very, very natural looking. He filled in these temple corners, and what's really nice is when we look at this donor area, I mean, it just speaks for itself. And there's a lot more of this, where this came from. Like, when you're dealing with a clinic that is used to doing strip surgery on a regular basis, with the appropriate case, it is the perfect solution. You don't have to go to FUE for every case. Strip is a very viable alternative for a lot of patients, just like for these guys. Got a 60-year-old male, again, no medications, which is fine. 2,651 grafts via FUT strip surgery, 12 months post-op. In the before image, you can see the outline, the general outline for a brand new temple point. He's bringing it pretty far forward. This result is spot on. The naturalness, like how many times can I say it's natural? But you can see the degree of work that was done, and I think that this is an ideal outcome with a relatively small number of grafts. That hairline was brought forward, the temple points brought forward. Excellent, well done. And to wrap up the men's strip cases, we got a 36-year-old male, 5,518 grafts in 2 surgeries. He was on finasteride before the surgery. This is 18 months after the first procedure, 6 months after the second surgery. As we look at this, you can see obviously the classic outline that Dr. Aron does for the hairline. Fills in beautifully. Now, let me stop right here. What I like about this is when you're looking at the way that the hair lays. There's no comb in the hair. There's nothing pulling on the hair, but I want you to look at how those hairs are kind of, they're exiting the scalp, but they're laying pretty flat, and then they're coming up. That's from the hairstyle, kind of curving them up. But the base, as those hairs are coming out, they're pretty flat, and that's the way that hair naturally lays for a lot of people. They don't stick up like this. They don't stick up in clumps like this with 2, 3, 4 hairs in them. They're single hairs in the front. They lay down like this. It's not from gravity, it's just the way they exit the scalp. And Dr. Aron Nusbaum is recreating that to where you have this kind of surgery, you go out in public, you're out with your friends. If they didn't know you had the surgery to begin with, they would never guess anything was different. And that's what I love about these results. We'll look at the crown and how big this area is. And what I like about this is when we look at the crown before, you can see the different directions that the hair is going in, but then that after result, 6 months later, you can see that those transplanted hairs are following those same directions for the natural result that you have here. Well done. But we're not finished. We got a few more to go. Now it's time for the ladies. First one up is a 56-year-old female has been taking topical minoxidil before surgery, 8 months post-surgery with 1,470 grafts via strip surgery because strip surgery doesn't thin out the donor area. And what's the last thing a lady wants? It's for her hair to be less full. Watch any shampoo commercial. Always talk about how full your hair will be. Well, that's what you can maintain with a strip surgery, whereas FUE, I love FUE, but it is removing the density on a 1-to-1 ratio, and it can make the donor area feel less full. I'll just leave it like that. But we got a great result here, and what I like about this, it's not just the hairline being filled in very nicely, very naturally, but you can see that the top, the part line in this before image, very, very thin, very patchy, but then after the result has grown in, you can see the part line from the back all the way down to the front maintains a consistent appearance of density, and that's the mark of a great surgery, but also a very high yield on that surgery. All the grafts grew or close to it for the outcome we see here. Great job. Next case. Next up, we got a 69-year-old female, no medications before surgery, 6 months post-op with 1,659 grafts via strip surgery. And what I like about this, it's not just the lowering of the central hairline and into the temples, but what you don't see with Hair Transplant Mentor doctors are these broad, sweeping temples that come down, in front of the ear, just these long, broad hairlines, because that's not natural. You don't see that in nature. You got to see the undulation, the irregularity, the asymmetry. If you were to see her from the front, you'd see the asymmetry, but you got to see these undulations and then down into the temple region and then back out, kind of like a temple point that you see on the guys. And it's done here. Beautiful work. Next case. Next up, we got a 35-year-old female. She's been taking topical minoxidil since before surgery. She's 6 months post-op after her strip surgery with 1,886 grafts in one session. And what we have here in this before image is the classic drawing out by Dr. Nusbaum of the hairline, where we've got the lowering, but then it comes around, and then as it drops down, it then curves back in towards the ear. So you have this nice flow to the hairline like women are supposed to have. You don't have that broad, very broad, unbroken hairline. This is what we love to see from top tier clinics. They understand how hairlines are supposed to be on not just men, but also women. And then when you look at the result, 6 months post-op, you can see not only that it's completely natural with the singles, but look how the hair is separated. Like the comb is separating this hair here. You got the part line. The hair below it is falling all in the same direction. There's no rat's nest of different directions here. It's all uniform, it's all consistent, and it's all natural. Right, so that's it. I think we went through that pretty quick. I think that's the most results I've ever been through in one video where I'm talking about one of the doctors I work with. And tell me what you think of it. It's kind of a shotgun style, I guess. I didn't go into a lot of detail on each case. I went into a little bit of detail on a lot of cases. So if you like that format, let me know, because when doctors I work with are sending me, cases for me to post into a new video, A lot of times they send me a lot more than I use because I do have to take time into consideration because I've been really detailed with these cases. But in this particular video, less detail, more cases, touch on the important parts. What do you think? On top of that, Dr. Aron Nusbaum, consistent, still a great member of the Hair Transplant Mentor team. Proud to have him on as a hair transplant mentor doctor. Check him out at Miami Hair Institute, which is miamihair.com. All the links are down below. Click the like button if you thought this was informative, and tell Dr. Aron that Joe sent you. I didn't write the script out. Anyway, we're out of here. Talk to you in the next video. Peace.